Hey everyone, my name is Erin Safe and I'm an independent consultant and district manager for Arbonne International. I'm also a fully qualified personal trainer and fitness instructor. So I'm joining you today to just give you a little bit of an insight on how you can, introduce a bit of activity and exercise into your life. If you're, whether it be someone that you have never exercised before or you haven't exercised in a long time, maybe you're a little bit older, so, you have to ease into it to be, to be careful for knees and hips, backs, things like that, or whether you're currently exercising fairly regularly, but perhaps you've plateaued a little bit and you're needing to up the ante, I guess. So, and just starting off, if you haven't exercised before or you're just starting out, or you are sort of, on the older side and needing to be careful of injuries or different things like that, you can just start off really basically, like you don't have to commit to anything really major to begin with. Anything is better than nothing at all. Just getting some movement throughout the body, getting that heart rate going a little bit, and getting the blood pumping around the body is what we're sort of aiming for. So, even just aiming for 10-minute walk around the block or something to start with, if that's every day or, maybe 4 to 5 times a week or something like that, you don't even have to commit to, because I know sometimes people think that, they say, okay, I'm going to exercise on Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and then Monday comes and they don't exercise, so then they kind of feel guilty, and then Wednesday might come and they feel guilty because they already haven't exercised for the last 2 days, so what's the point? I'll just start next week, sort of thing. So even don't commit to particular days. Just say that, say 5 days out of the week I'm going to exercise. So regardless of what day that is, just know at the end of the week, if say you're at the Saturday, and you've only exercised 3 times, then you know that you need to kind of push yourself, get you out there on the Saturday and the Sunday for a little bit of a walk. So it just has, it doesn't have to, like I said, it doesn't have to be anything big. Just start out small with a little 10-minute walk and build up from there. Once that 10-minute walk is comfortable for you, and push it out to say 15 minutes, and then when that gets comfortable, push it up to 20, and before you know it, you're going to be walking kilometres and kilometres, and then you might even find yourself starting to jog a little bit. If you haven't got the time to commit to a solid 30 or 45 minutes, just the idea is just to be making this a part of your lifestyle and having it second nature. So the same as eating is second nature and sleeping is second nature, it's all a part of your life. This is what we're trying to teach you and to explain, is that exercise can just be a natural part of your life as well. So, for example, I'm here at the park at the moment with my kids, and I'll flip the screen around for you so you can have a look. But me just sitting here, well, I actually can't flip the set screen, so I'll turn the phone around in a moment. But I'll just explain it to you first. Like me just sitting here, I'm seeing so much that you could do already in, say, 15, 20 minutes while you're here with your kids playing in the park. So it's a nice open area here at the moment. You could do a little bit of a walk around the park to warm up, a little bit of a jog. There's lots of tables and chairs, so you could do some sit-ups. You could do some sit-ups on the ground or crunches. You could do some step-ups on the chairs. I'll flip it around, hopefully you'll see. So you can see around there, so you can see the tables and chairs there. So pretty basic, most parks have them. You can do step-ups, you can do push-ups, you can do dips on there. You can do, like I said, sit-ups on the ground. You could do some normal squats, some squat jumps. You can do some mountain climbers. If you're really feeling up to it, you could even test out a couple of burpees and really get that heart rate going. So, and then just go for another little walk, jog around, and so you can sort of see, it's a nice round kind of oval. You're probably looking at about, 200 or so meters if you went all the way around. So a nice little short distance. It's nothing too exerting. So yeah, just little things like that, and your kids are happily quite playing while you're doing that. So another thing you could do is just at home. Quite often, I know, like if I haven't been able to get out there during the day to do anything significant, I'll just make sure that I do a few push-ups and sit-ups and squats before bed. Or sometimes that's not good to do before bed because it can make you a little bit more awake and you can't sleep. I find it okay. It doesn't really bother me, but you might want to, even if you do it first thing in the morning when you wake up, that could be your little ritual. You get out of bed, do a few star jumps, do a few sit-ups, some push-ups, and that sort of thing, just to get your heart going a little bit. Quite often to get some extra squats or something like that in, even like going to the toilet, whenever you go to the toilet, do 20 squats before you go. Especially when we're trying to drink so much water as we are in this program, that amounts to a lot of squats. So that can be really effective as well. So like I said, start out small. If you like to walk along the beach, as another example, you could, there's lots of sand dunes, so whenever you see a sand dune, walk up a sand dune. It doesn't even have to really involve running. You can just walk up a sand dune. So I'm just making sure my child is not getting up to too much trouble there. So you could just walk up a sand dune to get that heart rate going and put that little bit more extra strain on your legs. So what we're wanting to do is slowly build. So what happens is you'll start doing some exercise, it'll be a little bit hard to begin with. You'll get used to it and your body will get used to that then. So that's why quite often people hit plateaus, because their body gets used to what they're doing. So that's where you need to step it up again a little bit. So if you're already walking 3 or 4 kilometers a day on the beach, add in a little jog, or add in some sand dunes, or add in some squat jumps or something like that, just to get that heart rate going up and down and tricking the body into pushing itself that little bit further. If you just go for a walk, just around where you live, perhaps you could do like block by block. So one block you could walk out, say, a 50 to 70% exertion, and then the next block you could really push it. So whether it's walking or running, even if it's a walk, a really fast-paced walk for the next block, and then slow it back down again. So alternating between those two different intensities, so around that 50% intensity, and then really jack it up to that sort of 90% and just keep alternating it through. If you're already exercising regularly, say you're going to the gym a couple of times a week, then I guess and you've hit that plateau again, then you really just need to, like I said, step it up a little bit. So if you're working out 2 to 3 times a week, step it up to 4 to 5 times a week. And then when your body gets used to that, if you've got the time, step it up to 6 days a week. Add in, if you've got a lot of weight that you need to lose, you really do need to do the cardio. So get some cardio in there. If you can do some, 2 to 3 cardio sessions a week, and say 2 resistance sessions a week, and then again, if you've got the time, a really good stretch session. So that's 6 sessions a week. So obviously, if you're just starting out, that's going to sound like a lot, and I would never expect you to go from nothing to going into doing something like that. So that is only if you're already working out 2 to 3 times a week that you would step it up to something like that. But it is really important to do some weights. They don't have to be heavy weights, and I know quite often people say, oh, but I don't want to get really bulky and have lots of muscle. Lifting some 3 or 4 kilo weights, you're not going to get a huge amount of muscle, but you do need to do it. If you keep doing cardio and only cardio, eventually you're just going to start burning your muscle, and you're going to end up weak. Okay, so you need to build some sort of muscle. It's lean muscle, it's not bulky muscle. You're not going to be doing the amount of sets and reps with the type of weight that you would need to do to really bulk up. So, but you do need to do it because muscle burns fat, okay? And also remember, when you're jumping on the scales, that when you're doing these starting out and you're actually starting to build some muscle weighs more than fat. So it's really important to not necessarily go by the number on the scales, go by your measurements, okay? Because you might have only lost 3 kilos, but you might have lost 10 centimeters off your waist, which is quite a lot. And you might have burnt, you might have lost 7% body fat. And a prime example is one of my clients. I have just finished a 12-week challenge, and she didn't need to lose weight by any means. She just wanted to get fit and to tone up a little bit. Now she did lose a little bit of weight, but she only lost, I think it was maybe 2.5 kilos actually. But she lost 7% body fat. And she lost quite a lot of centimeters off her waist. I think it was about 5 centimeters or something off her waist. So she has really, she's really leaned out. She's lost that body fat and she's replaced it with muscle, and that proves that by those numbers on the scale. So she wasn't building muscle at the same time. She just would have lost weight, and she would have lost too much weight, and she would have ended up looking sick and probably being sick as well. So yeah, that's kind of all I really have to say without going into too much details. I don't want to overload you guys too much, but certainly if you've got any questions at all, or want any little handy tips or tricks on how to fit some exercise into your life, like just flick me a message, or add it, or you can message me privately, or you can put it in our support group, whatever you feel comfortable with. But I have gone from working out 6 times a week before kids to now I do work out perhaps 5 to 6 days a week still with 2 kids, but that is some days it might be an hour, some days it might be 2 1-hour sessions in one day, and and only 3 or 4 days a week, and some days it might only be a 10 to 15 minutes where I've squeezed something in, but I do something every day. So I have sort of learnt over the years lots of little tips and tricks, so I'm quite happy to share them with you. I've shared some of them with you today. But yeah, feel free to message me, guys. I'm here to help in any way I can. So good luck with your 30 days. So we're into week 2 now. I hope you're all doing really amazing. Stick to it.